Of East L.A. sports scene as we get ready to speak about Torres High School, the Esteban Torres High School, the Toros from the newest high school in East Los Angeles, and we're going to be speaking about the All-City selection who will be with us here. Also, the head coach Peter Cuevas from Torres, and a student who will be playing a big part, student athlete who will be playing a big part in next year's team for the Esteban Torres Toros, the Bulls, as we say in the translation. But nonetheless, they are known affectionately as the Toros. And sitting with me right here to my left and to your right, the head coach, no stranger to East L.A. sports scene, Coach Peter Cuevas.
How you doing, Rico?
I'm doing well.
Good
Thanks for coming.
Here,
Thanks for coming, Coach. And it's just a couple of days after Cinco de Mayo here in our community, and we are still celebrating. Because it's football, it's sports, it's community, it's that sense of pride that we want to convey to our audience here on the program tonight. And what better way to do it than to speak about the success of last year's team, and especially for one of your players who was picked as historically now the first player from Torres High School to become All-City, and that's Dave Frontanez, and we're going to bring him on as well. But, Coach, let's talk about Torres and the Toro program. How are things going now?
Well, things are still going along. We're still working hard out there. Last year was our second year. We just finished our second year. First year in the league, our Central League. And I think we did what was expected. We worked hard, and we still have a lot of young players that haven't played, and we're just still trying to get better. Okay. That's our main thing.
Third year, Coach, and the program, again, being in the infant stage, things are beginning to develop. But we're going to talk about that in the course of the program, because we're also going to speak with Julian Munoz, who's going to be a big key member for next year's team along with David. But let's talk and recap, Coach, because we want to focus it around the success that David, as your player, the first All-City selection for you, and the role he played and what you expect from him for next season.
David, is going into his third year now. He's going to be a senior this year. He's played varsity the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. He was our safety, and he also plays, he was our backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. If you remember the big win against Bernstein, he came in and we won that game for us, and he's also been a great special team player for us as a punter. He does pretty much whatever we ask him. He's also a wide receiver for us and a punt returner. So he does a lot of things for us. And it's great. It is our second year, and we got an All-City player. He was a second team All-City punter. Mm-hmm. But he also was All-League second team as a safety, first team as a punter All-League, and then second team All-City as a punter for Alley City.
Okay. And, Coach, that's got to speak very highly of your program, because, as we mentioned, kids are just starting to come to that age where they're going either from middle school now, they'll get into a high school, and many of them now are looking at Torres High School.
That's true, because my first year there, we didn't have, I think we only got like one kid from Belvedere, which is right across the street from us. And I think, coaches and I were talking about, that's one of the things we got to start winning. We got to start getting kids that are right down the street from us and come to play for us. Yes. So even last year, our second year, we had about 6 of them from Belvedere. So we're starting to get them. Garfield used to get them all. Okay. I remember my first year there, out of the 68 of them or something, he had 67 of them. Okay. So, and that's props to them. They're an established program. But I think us being across the street, it's another option. Mm-hmm. So I think they come by and they look at our games, and, we do have new uniforms, and we have some nice things going on ourselves. And I think we're starting to get a little bit of respect now.
Coach, let's talk about the Central League. That's where the LA Unified All-City Southern Section has put the newer schools into that conference. Let's talk about the strength of schedule for this coming season.
Well, our league is consisted of Bernstein High School, who made the only team that made the playoffs last year. They were 8-2 last year. We're the only team in the league that beat them last year. Mm-hmm. Also, Belmont's in our league. We have Roy Ball, Hollywood, and we also have. And then us, of course, and then also Contreras High School, who was pretty good last year. We went 2-3 in the league last year. We lost a couple of heartbreakers, once against Roy Ball and the other one against Contreras. But, we kept playing. We played hard, We gave the league champ, we beat them. So
okay. And any new schools that may pop up on the schedule this year?
Well, last year, one of the funniest things is Morro Bay that came up. Morro Bay is like 200-something miles away. And And they called me up, and I said, you know what? If you guys are willing to come down here, we'll take it on. We'll take you on, and we did, and they were a good team. They ended up going to the semifinals. They lost to Chaminade to go to the finals in that section Division 4 CIF. So they're a really good school. Okay. We're not playing them this year because we can't travel all the way up there. So we got some new people on our schedule this year. Our league consists this year of we're going to be scrimmaging Vermin Day at home, and then we go away for 3 weeks. We're going to go to Huntington Park, to Eagle Rock, and to Monroe High School. Okay. And then the other 2 teams are going to come as Angelo, as a new high school, who will be coming to us. And then we also got Sotomayor, who's just starting their first year of football this year. They'll be coming to us as well.
Just right outside of downtown, off of, is it Broadway?
Sotomayor is over in, I think they're in Cypress Park, Glassell Park. And it's a very nice school. We've been over there already for some passing league stuff. So it's a very nice place to, to be at. I've been there.
Coach Peter Cuevas is third-year head coach of the Torres High School, the Toros. And we're going to now take a quick break, step aside, and we're going to bring in Dave Frontanez, and we're going to be speaking about the season he had, especially last year, because his merits speak for themselves, and his accomplishments also in the classroom and on the field really speak very highly for this young player that's coming up. And don't go away. We're going to take a quick break and come back with more of East L.A. Sports Scene. Okay, part 2, here we go now with the actual introduction in studio, because he's no stranger to East L.A. Sports Scene. On our high school games of the week, we've called many games here in which David Frontanez played outstandingly in big wins. And, of course, there have been a couple of losses along the way, but that's par for the course. But nonetheless, he has stayed the course. He is beginning to really get into his craft at the high school level, and being guided by Coach Cuevas and the coaching staff, he certainly produced quite a bit last year to earn All-City honors. And Coach, I'll start with you, but also first let me welcome Dave here in studio.
Thank you, Rico, for having me here with Coach Cuevas.
Thank you so much. And again, it's a very, very, very distinct pleasure for us to bring you on in person, so our viewers can see you not on the football field, but right here just as an average high school football player and a kid out of the community here who wants to do well for himself, his family, and his school. But, Coach, let's give you the opportunity to speak about your All-City selection, Dave Frontanez.
Okay, well, David, like I was telling you earlier, that he played a lot of different positions this year for us. He was our starting safety. He was a starting receiver. He was also did some punt return, but the most thing he was most effective as a punter. He averaged like 42 yards a punt. He really nailed a couple of punts inside the 3, 4, 5 yard lines and gave us good field position, which is very important, especially for our defense. And he always kept us in the game. He always could come out and make sure he got us got that field position for us to let our defense fight and give us a chance.
Consistently performing at a high level.
Yeah,
all season.
Definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. Of course, he's not a professional punter, so he does make some mistakes, but who doesn't, but the thing is, he was really probably the most consistent, other than our kicker, who's really good too, Gus Ornelas. But our kicking game was really good last year, and I really was proud of that.
And we got to say, the committee downtown at the office, when it came to cast their votes, or however they do it by talking to coaches in the conference and out of the conference, but when it came down to looking at the skills that David has, quarterback popped up, and big time, because you just can't have someone come in and take over as quarterback and continue to play at a high level. And David did that for the past 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. He's a great baseball player too. I don't know if you know that, but he also played varsity basketball, and he's a good all-around athlete. But he's a great baseball player, and he has a good arm. So we know he can throw the ball. The thing is just the experience, and of course we had Joey Verduzco last year, who just played quarterback his whole life, and it was hard for David, but David was good about it. He knew his role. He was the backup. He was ready to go, and just like you saw against Bernstein, he came in, he did a great job for us, and he won the game. And that's what he does. Yeah.
Okay, let's angle that microphone over to Dave, because Dave, we're going to talk a little bit now about your role on the team now. 3 years, as Coach said, in the program, so you are the face of the team, the veteran now. And let's talk about not this coming season yet. Let's recap last year, because you were playing extremely well and the team struggled a little bit, but that didn't bother you in terms of doing what your mission was, and you wanted to really excel in the field, and of course you do that in the classroom. Let's talk about your thoughts of last year.
Well, a lot of last year, there's a lot of kids who, we had experience our first year. We came back and we just put our heads together. We're just like, go out there, play hard, play your best, and have each other's back. And well, my role in the team was playing receiver and playing safety. So I was just trying to get open, trying to get picks, trying to make some tackles, key picks, key catches. And last year we just didn't bump heads. We just kept on playing together. Mm-hmm. And in key moments when the team needed me, I just, was just able to shine. And but I mean, I couldn't do it by myself. Joey Verduzco threw me the ball. The defense, Ray Robles, was telling us what to do. And we just went out there and we just, tried our best and had fun. So we came out key in some of the plays.
Well, week in and week out, you had to do quite a bit to keep the team steady. Yeah. Because as part of the game, we know is injuries, and the size of your roster certainly is not equivalent to the 50, the 60 that we see, like a Dorsey or Crenshaw, and that weighs into the fact that you guys are playing on the field quite a bit.
Yeah.
How your conditioning and your stamina and your strength, how did you maintain that to stay fit?
Well, how week is the reason why I stayed fit, because I did a lot of running, a lot of bear crawls and all the conditioning we had. And, I just try to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. And, like in Bernstein, when Joey went down, I just had to come in. I knew my role was. I knew I had to, just carry the team on my back and try to win a homecoming game. Mm-hmm. So I carried the team. I came in, and I just, told the players, just trust me. We could do this together, Mm-hmm. We had each other's backs. That's the main thing. And I just went out there, played quarterback, saw a lot of things that Joey was doing, so I had to do it myself, and I just came through on that game. Okay, we're going to pose a question over here to Coach, so we'll get that microphone ready for you, Coach. But let's talk now about the moment. The season's over, and you're evaluating things for the coming year, of course, but you get a phone call. Or tell us how the notification process was for you, Coach, and then how David was also informed that he had made the All-City team.
Okay, well, pretty much what it is we all meet. There's a date, I think, after this. I think it's even before the finals of the Division II and Division I. We meet up at the L.A. city offices with John Aguirre, mm-hmm. and divide us up. Division I goes in one room. We go in, the other coaches from Division II go in another room. And we pretty much just start writing names down and stats. We bring our stats with us and our all-league selections. And, we all sit around, all the coaches from Division II. And we all, mm-hmm. talk about the players, and we put up the best players on the board. We all vote on them. Give them a little background on their stats, because there's teams from the Valley that don't see us, and mm-hmm. we don't play them. So we just pretty much rely on our stats and, our word pretty much. And once you do that and you convince them, they mm-hmm. vote on it, and then you get the player up there.
Okay.
We were our second year, so it was really hard to get anybody up there, especially we didn't win the league and we didn't go to the playoffs. So I really had to fight hard to get David in there. I was trying to get Ray Robles, but they wouldn't give me a chance with him.
Yes.
And he, how good a player he was for us last year, and it was really tough. But we knew we had some good specialty players with Gus and David, and I said, I'm going to fight hard. Mm-hmm. And they finally let me squeak one in there, man. Those guys are tough.
Good effort on that, Coach. And then when it came down to David being notified, how did that happen?
Well, I got back after that meeting, and I just saw David. I go, hey, congratulations. Okay. You're the first all-city player from Torres High School. He goes, really? I go, yeah.
Okay. All right.
But we still got, they gave him a certificate that our AD has. And,
okay.
We're going to give it to him. I was going to give it to him at the banquet, but, I'll just tell him now.
Okay.
So we're going to have our banquet next week. So
all right.
We'll talk about that then.
And David, now let's go back to you now for the question. At the moment that Coach told you, your thoughts and your reaction on that.
Well, the first thing I was like, are you really lying to me, or is he telling me the truth? I didn't believe him, but I was surprised, but not really surprised, because, all the hard work that I've been through kicking and all the punts that I did, and, pinned them down in the 3-yard line and stuff, like, it was, I knew I could have got it, but it was really, like, unbelievable, because, like, I didn't know I was going to be in, first team All-City. Yeah. So, but it's a good feeling, being the first kid in Torres history to actually be a first team All-City, and just it was just shocking.
Okay.
You know.
And tell us the family reaction, and then your of course your teammates and classmates.
Well, once I got home, I told my dad, and my dad's like, just stop lying to me. But I mean, I'm not lying. You came and called my coach, and then he's like, oh, you know, we're proud of you. You know,
yeah.
We went to all your games, so we knew, you know, you had the potential to, you know, be a punter and actually do good punts. And well, I told my teammates, and my teammates were happy. They're like, oh, we knew you could do it. Like all those times that you came through for us, that we needed you to pin the, you know, defense. And yeah, everyone was just congratulating me, and you know, it's an honor.
Okay.
Having that award in my.
Oh, good. Well, you're gonna have to build from that and repeat.
Yeah.
For this coming season, and it's a big chore, a big task, but I'm sure you guys will be up to it. Dave, a quick question here for you: how are things going in the classroom? Because I know Coach always stresses academics, student athlete, got to be able to perform at a high level inside the classroom to be able to perform on the field. Talk about how things are going for you.
Well, in class, things are going great right now. The coach always told me if you're an A player, you're an A student, and I'm always taking care of my bookwork. You know, I don't want to be one of those guys that is always like out of the team. So, and especially how it's going to be my senior year, I would love to play my senior year and actually take my team to the playoffs. So right now, I'm just taking care of schoolwork first. Okay. And once I'm done with school, then summer is all about football. And once I'm back for school, it's school and football. So I'm, you know, trying to be the best student athlete, you know, one of the coaches can have.
All right. One more question here for Coach. And Coach, as you see a player like David, who was an infant in the program, but who grew up right in front of your eyes, his time will be coming where he will leave the program and then go on to the next level. Have there been any kind of, say, overtures or any interest from college coaches at this point in his career?
I think right now, David, you know, he's getting a lot of stuff for baseball. That's the one thing. He's a good, like I was telling you earlier, he's a great baseball player. I think he's going to go to New York for a baseball camp out there. Beautiful. He got invited. So he's a prospect in baseball and football because he does so many things. You know, this will probably be his year where he's going to shine the most because he'll be our starting quarterback this year and also be playing defense. I don't think he's going to be coming off the field. I don't think he knows that yet. But you better be ready to not come off the field this year because we're going to need him. Okay. He is a 3-year starter for us, and that's a big thing. Yes. We only, him and the next player you'll have on here, Julian, is also a 3-year player for us. So we're going to be expecting a lot of things from these days, and we're going to squeeze everything we can out of them.
And the school that you're enrolled in at Torres?
Oh, I'm in Performing Arts Academy.
Okay. All right. And hopefully all the formula will come together. The chemistry will really happen that if you are being looked at by the colleges for your skills, that you may stay in the area with the Pac-12 school. Maybe UCLA or USC. Yeah. It doesn't matter as long as we're able to see where you can get to the next level in college. And I'm sure that's one of your big goals. Whether it's a scholarship or not, you're going to be in college. And we want to say congratulations in advance, because you are going to be walking down that aisle at one point in your life where you will have that degree. So we want to congratulate you here locally, Dave, for the selection to the All-City team representing Torres High School. And we'll see you here in the recap here at the outro when we come back here after our break. You're watching East L.A. Sports Scene, and this is our edition here with Torres High School. We're speaking Toros football, head coach Peter Cuevas, David Frontanez, and now after the break we're going to be meeting Julian Munoz. So don't go away. We have more coming on East L.A. Sports Scene. All right, and here we are now in our third segment. We've been speaking about the immediate past, which was last year, and a little bit at the beginning of the program about what's going to happen in 2013. But as I told Coach Cuevas, Coach, we're going to talk about the past, but we want to build up to the present because his job really never ends as an educator, as an instructor, and also as a head football coach. I'm sure Coach Cuevas has very long days. Yeah. And again, labor of love, labor of commitment to the players, the community, the school, and to the families. And Coach, we couldn't ask for a better mentor, a person that really cares about our kids and about the environment that you come to every day, because I'm sure it's been nothing but a great experience for you.
It's been a good ride, so far. That's going into our third year. I still can't believe it, how fast it's gone, And I could just remember the first time we got there. We didn't even have anything out there, and now things are rolling really nicely. We finally got a parent booster club now that's helping us. Good. we're getting some help from the community, and we're doing fundraisers, and it just feels like a normal high school now for us, with football on the campus, and all the hoopla, and all the dances, and all that homecoming. So that was, last year was our first homecoming, so it's starting to feel normal, but hopefully that's what we want to do.
Okay, and playing a big part this year will be Julian Munoz, who's your middle linebacker and your fullback. We want to welcome Julian. How are you, Julian?
Hi, thanks for having me, Rico.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for coming along with Coach, and I asked Coach to bring a player who is going to be very prominent in the Toro football program this year. So your thoughts first, Julian, on your 3-year participation at Torres. 2 years already under your belt, but this is the big year, the 3rd year. Let's talk about from start to finish how you've been in the program and some of the things that you're looking to gain from the experience.
Well, my first year here, I was lost like any typical kid would be, but I learned a lot of new things because I had never played football before.
Okay.
The first year I came here, and then but I learned a lot the first year. And the second year, it was even better because I knew way more of what I was doing out there. Like I didn't just go by thinking like, what do I do next?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had a good memory of what I had to do, so I did it.
Okay, and the positions that we mentioned, middle linebacker and fullback, has that been your position for the first 2 years?
No, the first year I played defensive end, but the second year I played middle linebacker.
Okay. Now let me talk to Coach here because Coach, he is like David, a very, very important element on your team because of the experience. Let's talk about what you foresee as Julian's role in this year's team.
Well, I think he's going to be, taking over the defense this year, definitely. He is playing the middle linebacker position, and he's taking over big shoes had from Ray Robles last year. So he'll be doing the same thing that Ray was doing, calling the defense and having a big impact on our kids. He's going to be one of our captains along with David.
Okay.
So most likely David will be the offensive captain. He'll be the defensive captain, and we look to both those guys, for some leadership for these younger guys and for the guys that are still there, that are still young, and use that experience for the last couple of years to help us, get to the next level for this upcoming season. Okay. So they're going to be playing a huge part on in our program. Okay,
let's go back to Julian here because we want to know a little bit more about you as a student, because you have a great option there at Torres High School to pick the school that you want to excel in. And what school did you pick?
I go to Engineering and Technology, the Blue Building.
Oh, okay. And the reason for that?
I don't know. I guess I kind of steered more to the way of being an engineer. That's what I'd prefer,
So maybe some of your life goal might be to become a civil engineer, a structural engineer, something in that nature, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And the education that's offered there, would you say it's one of the best?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best. I mean, they don't really let a student just fail. They they help you out a lot, as much as they can. Okay.
And then Julian, what was the middle school that you graduated from and then came to Torres? Talk a little bit about that.
I graduated from Belvedere Middle School.
Oh, okay.
And then I came to Torres.
All right. And some of the things you might be doing, say, when you're not on the football field, or when it's the NFL, or when it's college football, anything that you like to watch more than others?
Well, usually when I'm not on the field, I'm just at home doing homework.
Oh, okay.
Because I got to keep my grades up if I want to play.
All right. And Coach, let's talk about that because size of roster is a critical component, and we know that physicality and commitment, dedication to the sport is just half of the formula. They have to stay eligible in high school. Your thoughts on how the program is still evolving?
Yeah.
Okay, as an infant still, third year.
Well, the thing that's difficult about being at Torres is that there's 5 different schools, so I can't, see all of my players or all the student athletes that we have there because I work in one building, but then they're in the other 4 buildings. Everybody's spread out. Yeah. That's difficult because it's hard to monitor. If they're getting behind in the grades, I have to hear it secondhand from teachers and stuff. And of course, I take that very seriously. But we always talk about school first. Family, and then the school, and then football. Football is one of those things that it's like the icing on the cake. It's a it's not I don't have to let you play. It's a privilege to play here, and I think they understand that. Yeah, the roster's always been a problem. My first year we had like 33 guys, and then we lost a lot of guys to grade cuts, and that shouldn't be happening. I think our guys need to take more pride in that, and they have. And our roster was a lot bigger not a lot bigger, but a little bigger this year, and we're looking for it to keep growing. We're talking about maybe in 50s, maybe hopefully this year, 45 and up. Last year we were about 42, 43, and lose here, got a couple of guys here and there, but we're looking to upgrade and make sure that we get a bigger team.
Okay. Very important because, as you mentioned, some of the players will have to play both offense and defense, and when they're on the field more often, coach, than not, sometimes you have that fear. It's just a downright fear of an injury.
Well, of course, especially when you guys got like guys that are playing offense, defense, and special team. You lose one guy, you lose three guys because he's a linebacker, he's your running back, and he's your punt returner. So that is something, but we can't. I don't play with fear like that. We let our kids make sure that we try to put them in the best position to win. We try to get them in the best condition so that things like that, some of the things can happen that can happen, won't happen. Yeah. Of course, we all know football is a very physical sport, so things can happen at any time. Yeah. So we're just always prepared. We're ready for anything can happen and get somebody ready at all times at every position.
Okay, let's go back to Julian here because with the time we have here, we're trying to see and look inside the mind of Julian Munoz as you get ready. And you're talking about getting ready now because spring practice, and pretty soon summer, and then the camp will start in August, July and August for the fall season 2013. Your thoughts on preparation now? What have you done individually to prepare, and then what else at school what the coaches are having the players in the program do?
Yeah, with the getting ready, I think like everybody should take it serious, like everybody on the team, because like it doesn't matter if they're like freshmen just starting out. You got to think about like, it's a senior's last year to play. This is their last time to like actually enjoy the field. So I think everybody should start taking everything more serious, the way they practice, the way they do that, give that extra push,
Okay, and weight room, some extra conditioning on the weekend when you're not studying now, because you've got a very heavy diet with that type of curriculum in engineering. I'm sure it's very, 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 very difficult, but you've got to break yourself off and say, I got to commit now to the physical side and get prepared.
Yeah, my mom's making me like, I don't know, all of a sudden she started making me vegetable blends and all that, so I don't know.
Okay.
She's getting me more ready.
Spring practice just around the corner, would you say?
Definitely. We're talking about, because our baseball team is in the playoffs this year, so.
Okay.
And we have a if you've ever been to our field, baseball and softball intertwined, so we can't be on the field till they're finished, so we're looking at the last week of May and the first week of June for a spring ball. Okay. And from there, and then school end, and we start our summer program. We'll do our passing league stuff that we're already committed to. Okay. And then, of course, we start camp, the conditioning part, in July. Okay. We have some kids that are going to be doing other things, so we got to wait for that to happen. So maybe July 10th is probably going to start a camp for us.
Okay. And then hopefully a media day, East L.A. Sports Team will come over and do what we did a couple of years ago and bring the new edition for 2013 out to the public. Julian, one last question here, and it's going to be about your teammate, Dave Frontanez, and your thoughts on his impact, what he's done for the team, the school, and his class. Tell us a little bit in your own words.
And David, I think he makes a big impact for the team because, like, when we need him most, that's when he steps up. Like, when Joey went down against Bernstein, he stepped up to be quarterback that game, and he did a pretty good job. So he's a pretty good teammate.
Okay, and you guys get along very well. Yeah. You're going to be like Coach said, you're one of your co-captains already. So that's been declared, and I'm sure that your teammates will welcome you in to lead them out every Friday night under the lights, so to speak. But when you heard he was all-city selection, your thoughts on that?
Well, I knew he was going to win something because, I mean, he's a great punter, he's a good quarterback, and he's a top-notch safety. So I was expecting something for David.
Okay. All right. Coach, any final words here on Julian? What your expectations will be for him You mentioned them just briefly, but when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, and the season is just around the corner, your thoughts for Julian?
Okay, well, last year he was mostly, the last couple of years, he was mostly just like a defensive player for us. But then we put him in Belmont to run the ball, and we discovered that he's a tough runner. So we're going to put him at fullback this year and let him fly with the ball. You know, we're going to try to give him some touches this year and take over the role that Ray Robles had last year. So, you know, he's a good runner. So I'm going to put him. I'm going to try him on both sides of the ball now and see what he can do. We're looking forward to that.
All right, we're going to take our final break now and come back. And in the picture, we'll have Dave come back into speaking with us here, and just some final thoughts here on the 2013 team coming up for the Esteban Toros, the Bulls. I want to kind of translate that, Coach. Sometimes I do it on the air, but I always affectionately say the Toros. Watch out, because here they come. We'll be back in a minute with more of East L.A. Sports Scene. Okay, welcome back, and this will be our final segment here as we're going to wrap things up on this edition of East LA Sports Scene, talking about high school football, the sport that we truly and dearly love here in East Los Angeles, with not only Torres, of course, you know, it's Roosevelt and it's Garfield, and from time to time we will cover the mighty Mules from Wilson High School. We need to speak to Coach Eddie Martinez. I was just talking to Coach Cuevas about that, and hopefully a roundup every week on high school football here in East Los Angeles. That's going to be one of our objectives. But getting back to the Torres program right now, Coach, it all happens with a team, not only of players, but a team of coaches. And we haven't spoken about them. And I know you really, really put a lot of significance into those young men or those coaches and those adults that come in to help you in preparing team after team at Torres. Talk about this year's coaching alignment for you. Okay,
we have some changes this year. We have some coaches that, you know, had to do had priorities, so they won't be back with us this year. Of course, we have Sergio Vargas, who continued doing offensive line. Also with the special teams, also have Juan Montufar, who was an offensive line coach for us and D-line coach. Of course, we have Jason Sanchez, who was D coordinator the last couple of years. He'll continue doing the linebackers and D coordinator. We also have a new guy with us, Dave Aldana, who's probably going to hopefully do our DBs. We also have Coach Frontanez, who's David's cousin here, and he'll be with us too this year. So we're happy to have him as a receiver coach. And then, you know, I'm still actually looking for a couple of coaches, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm interviewing some guys now, but hopefully we'll get a staff stabilized by the time we start spring ball. Our JV coaches will all be back next. The whole team that we had last year, they went 7-2 last year. They did a good job for us on the JV level. So, you know, we won 2 games the year before. We won 7 last year at the JV. They did a great job for us. Coach Richard Angel and his staff, which is mostly all his nephews and godsons. So they did a great job for us. So they'll all be back, and I really want them back this year. You know, they did a good job for us.
And also, in terms of the program still being new, the administration, because of the 5 schools, it still has to be another team effort from the administration. And your projections for the administration in this year's program.
Well, the only difference now this year is that Mr. Fuentes, who started with us, he was the administrator in charge of athletics the last couple of years for us. He's still the principal at our school, but they gave that new job to Jose Gonzalez, who's the principal over at Renaissance. So, you know, Mr. Fuentes was great. You know, Alex did such a good job for us. He very supportive of the program. We're gonna miss him, but you know, he's still on campus to give us some guidance still. But Jose Gonzalez is taking over, and I think he's a good guy. You know, and he's a sports guy, and we hopefully continue the relationship that we've had the last couple of years.
All right, Coach, we're going to talk to the players here, and then we're going to come back to you and close things out. But Dave, your projections, what's on your blueprint for 2013. Of course, a successful season, a safe season, repeat hopefully of being All-City. But as Coach has mentioned, you and Julian will be captains. So Dave, your thoughts on taking the field for this coming season and the preparations?
Well, I'm really excited for this upcoming season, especially with Julian. We're just going to try to do our best to just win more games this year, try to put our team in the map, try to go to the playoffs, and most importantly, win more games and just try our best. Well, we have a good football team right now. Everyone's coming along together, and that's a good feeling. And well, we're just gonna try to win games, like I said. And what I'm really looking forward to is playing quarterback.
Okay.
Especially a good role. You know, I didn't have that role last year, just one game, but I'm really excited to play that, and I'm really excited to look back and just see Julian right behind me, blocking for me. And we've been buddies since the first year, so we're going to come together harder this year and just try to do whatever we can to go to playoffs.
Okay. And Julian, we kind of touched on it when you were speaking, but as you get really close to the first day of practice, what might be running through your mind to get ready for 2013?
Oh man, just like a lot of hard work since it's my last year. I'm gonna give it all I got this year, because if I don't like do anything with it, it's gonna be like, what if?
Okay. Well, you don't want that to happen, but on the other hand, you certainly have a bright academic future, hopefully for your vocation in life, helping to construct housing, build whatever things as an engineer.
Yeah.
That is very, very impacting to hear you say that you're in the School of Engineering, because that's obviously a college pursuit that you're going to have. Okay. Well, we want to wish the players, David, again, all the best, and Julian, your new roles. I'm sure you guys are really going to embrace them and lead the team to many victories this coming season. Yeah. And Coach, I just want to give you the opportunity to kind of wrap things up here. Torres, again, has been very close to us. We thank you for giving us many opportunities to come and do play-by-play and cover our kids. That's how important it is. And now we're here in studio to be able to give a different perspective. So not in the hustle and bustle after a game, but here at your own accord to be able to speak about the program.
Well, Rico, thank you very much for, you've been very supportive since, we came aboard, and I want to thank you and your crew for that. You guys always been good to us and giving us positive light, on what we're doing over there. Our coaches and our players are really working hard. Hopefully we can see that this third year. I always say third year, it's one of those things that by then you should be really, really getting going, and we are. Our weight program is a lot better. Our off-season conditioning is a lot better. With the amount of players are better. We're getting a lot more parent support. We've accepted the parents to be involved. We really wanted them. I think my first couple of years I was really kind of apprehensive to have them there, but now I really trust them. I want them there. They're eager to help, and it's starting to come together all together now. And it's starting to look good. It's starting to be, like I said earlier, it's starting to feel normal at high school, Usually be at these other high schools where everything's around football and so much excitement going on, and we're starting to get that, along with our cheerleaders. We don't have a band yet, but that's the next thing that comes in. But we do have a little rock and roll band, that one that plays at our games, and they're really good. Yes. So, it's starting to feel normal for us, and, I think our sport is the biggest ticket there. We bring in the biggest draw. We have the most players, and I think our kids deserve that kind of appreciation for being out there.
Okay. Coach, head coach, in this beginning of his third year, Peter Cuevas, at the controls, really, really going all out each and every day to prepare the Toros for this coming season. And his work, of course, has just started, and it's going to really intensify over the summer, and this end of spring and then summer, and then into the fall, when it's time to kick off on Friday Night Lights. And East L.A. Sports Team hopefully will be there to cover as many games as possible for you, Coach.
We only have 4 home games this year, so you better get them. You better get them in.
Well, we want to say muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Coach. Dave.
Thank you.
Also to you. Thank you. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, Rico.
Julian, thank you for coming. Okay.
Thanks.
And again, this has been East L.A. Sports Scene's coverage of high school football, and we do it with a passion here. We're so glad that Torres High School is represented along with Roosevelt and Garfield, and hopefully we'll be able to bring in Coach Eddie Martinez and the Mules from Wilson High School.
Good guy.
Okay, and then looking forward to the fall for our weekly roundup of high school football here on East L.A. Sports Scene. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you soon on our next program here in studio and also in the field as we cover sports in motion, our community in motion here, doing good things, doing positive things for our students, our athletes, and our families, and again, for the community. So that'll do it for this edition of East L.A. Sports Scene. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next program. Take care, and God bless.
Con Toros.
All right.